G'day, my name is Drewett. I am currently a teacher at Gleneagles Secondary College. I've been teaching for about 10 years. Before that, I was making a living as an executive in a small computer company. I've often been asked exactly what my favourite game is, which is a bit of a crazy question because really I only play one, and that of course is EverQuest. Now into its 18th year, I started playing just on the turn of the year 2000. It's commerce, it's character building, it's role-playing, all the things that you'd expect, but underneath it all, it has a deep and meaningful gameplay, which makes it special. Well, at least I think it's special. At the moment, there's around there's 27 fully paid accounts. Actual people, real people with arms and legs in the guild. Whilst there are lots of accounts, there is only one individual. Yes, yours truly, Mr. Drewett, is that one individual, although I do think it's a little bit cheaper than a golf subscription for a year. With 27 plus accounts, you'd be spending 27 different sessions by the time you could play all of your characters. So the idea is that you could split the computer up, split the screen, and have one character on each side of the screen. This is called multi-boxing. I have control systems in place which lets me drive, say, a cluster of 6 to 12 computers, all from the one keyboard and mouse. Welcome to the front line, the first line of computers that I have. You'll see in the front I have a traditional touchscreen. It's what I call my flip up or oh no unit. I can slide it out of the way where I can see my main action screen there. It takes input from all the others around the room. I can't look at all the screens at once. Going from one side to the other, they are the ones that are most intensive of my need. So I can flick the button on the mouse and my focus will change around the machines as I go. Now, rather than using a keyboard, I use a specialty board with the number of keys only that I need. So if I have, for example, my healing spell on key number 1, then I can simply hold down the number 1, swing my mouse across, and each 5 healer will cast the healing spell. We then have ability to be able to flexibly bring into play a whole new key interface. A lot of work in the game, you have to actually type sentences or have a discussion with other players. For that, you'll need a normal keyboard. So as opposed to selecting them and choosing what I want to do, I can have wired into the buttons on the mice a set of macros to do particular jobs. And then you have your control center. I don't have quite that many machines. I only have the 27 accounts. So usually 3 controllers is enough. There is options there to go much bigger. Space ultimately is the problem, power consumption, and angry spouse. Upwards from there we have controllable by a second mouse, a second row of computers, primarily the ones that are just doing the same thing the whole time in a repetitive fashion. And from time to time they'll be resurrecting players who have died. Yeah. At the moment I have an area that I set aside for maintenance and I can work on that there. But in this corner otherwise, 6 computers, 2 touch screens, all in ones. Not far away we have basically the centre for the laptops, because clearly we want to be able to play this game when we go on our holidays. Going on a cruise, we take 6 laptops, set them up in the window of the cruise ship or on the desk, and while we're sailing along, nothing to look at outside, I'll be busy playing. A significant cost, of course, is right now we're upgrading to Windows 10 and we're negotiating with Microsoft on a bulk license right now. Now, in 18 years, there's been 25 expansions. Each expansion typically costs around about $25. And so with 27 odd accounts, you can see that that money multiplies pretty quickly. The room's insured, so if any of the computer equipment melts down or breaks down, the items can all be claimed for under insurance. I'm pretty sure that at the last count that I've got 40 machines in this room right now. Since I've been doing this, we're up to around about $150,000 easily and counting. It's an ongoing battle with price and budget, but cheaper than a membership for a golf club. With so many machines, so many accounts, I need to spend so much time with them. It's a bit like having a dog. I mean, you need to spend time with your dog if you're going to have one. If you're going to have multiple pet machines, you've got to spend time with them. I played the Dooms, Command and Conquer and the Red Alerts, and then I guess I was wanting a bit more. I'd heard about EverQuest, so I popped on board. In fact, my very first character that I had in EverQuest, I still use here. Other players were hard to find early on in Australia. There was probably only about 2 people playing and the rest were in America. I had 2 computers. Why not load up and run the game on the other? And so I did. My second character I still have. My third and my fourth. My 6th character was named 6th. From then it went on. I'm now so far gone that I have a tune called 2 Dozen. And still it's gone on from there. I'd had the chair on rails and slide it along. I'm a network specialist, so I could have 1 keyboard and mouse controlling not just 6 machines, quite a few more than 6. I can now play and enjoy that content by myself. Gameplay in EverQuest is pretty important. Raids never worked the first time. It can take me 3 months to get a problem solved. And so you'll see on the websites and in my books, pages and pages full of strategies and ideas for completing raids. This particular one is a little raid book that I've been keeping. It's called the Battle Book, and in here we have notes that we've taken over a long period of time of things to try, what's worked, and obviously highlighted successful strategies. Going with that, a list of raids. There's number 9 on our list I'm currently working on. This was a raid for content that was released probably 3 or 4 years ago. We have the Cleric's Book, books for wizards, books for rogues, melee. One of my favourites, which I've kept stored away, which goes back a long time, and includes my pet cat, which used to come along and sit in here and leave deposits on it. You can see here where the liquid, which was the cat liquid, has actually still contains a nice odour. Most people probably would have thrown that out, but look, it's really interesting. The other significant use for a system like this is that it is truly multimedia. I could be watching 4 different newscasts at the same time, 4 different sportscasts at the same time. I frequently have 2 movies playing. This is very useful. People often think that it's confusing, but your brain takes care of that. I mean, if it's processing multiple screen images now, 4 TV shows is easy. At the end of the day, it's reasonable to suppose that we've spent a lot of money. We've spent a lot of time. But hey, really, isn't it money well spent?